Mike Davis, he's the founder and president of Article 3 Project. Mike, always great to see you. Thanks for being with me today.
Thank you for having me.
I haven't talked to you since the fourth indictment dropped here. I mean, we knew it was coming, but this RICO, the sweeping charges here, and Mark Meadows in particular, give us your reaction to he's saying this has to be moved. Fani Willis doesn't even have jurisdiction to bring these charges here.
This is utter buffoonery by this Democrat Fulton County DA, Fani Willis. She, if you saw her press conference, you know she's not the brightest bulb out there. It is not a crime to object to presidential elections. That is allowed by the Electoral Count Act of 1887. It is not a crime to twist political arms. That is allowed by the First Amendment. And what Fani Willis is alleging here is racketeering. She is using a racketeering statute that you used to take down the mob, to take down her political enemies. And they're charging President Trump and 18 others, including his lawyers, top Justice Department officials, his White House chief of staff, other allies. This is lawfare by the Democrats that we've been talking about for a year, since the unprecedented, unnecessary, and unlawful home raid on President Trump in Mar-a-Lago last August for the non-crime of a former president.
How does he go after? He's got 4 cases now going, right? And he has an election. He's also on the campaign trail. You know, if you're in his legal team, how do you attack all this? I mean, 1 indictment would be enough for like a mere mortal here. He's got 4 of them. It is pretty amazing to watch this man continue on despite all this.
Yeah, and notice the timing. They waited 30 months after President Trump left office to time these indictments, coordinate them. Obviously, Fani Willis would not even say at her press conference whether she was colluding with Jack Smith and the Biden Justice Department. She clearly is, so the House Republicans should immediately subpoena those communications. But these indictments are timed 30 months after President Trump left office to interfere in the Republican primary and the Republican general election. And here's what's going to happen here. This is backfiring. You're seeing it in the polls. They couldn't just stick to 1 indictment, like you said, Jack Smith's indictment for having his presidential records in the office of former president, which is allowed by the Presidential Records Act. That's the most, even though Trump's on he's on sound legal ground there, that's their best case. They couldn't just stick to that one. They had to bring these 3 other indictments by these 3 other, in these 3 other jurisdictions, by Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan-funded, or the Soros-funded Manhattan DA for the non-crime of a businessman settling settling a nuisance
we only
claim.
have about a minute left. I don't mean to interrupt, but I also want to ask you about the Hunter Biden tax plea deal, which blew up. Now it's at an impasse. We had David Weiss get the special counsel, role here. He could go and right now, some say, charge Hunter with some offenses right now, like this week. There's no need to wait, but we won't see that, do you think, will we?
No, there's no chance. David Weiss was handpicked by both Democrat U.S. senators in Delaware. They say he was a Trump appointee. That's not how it works. I ran the confirmation process for the Senate Judiciary Committee for these nominations. This David Weiss is handpicked by both Democrat home state senators, and he has been covering for the Bidens for the last 5 years when there's clear evidence that Joe Biden is compromised by tens of millions of dollars in foreign bribes and other corruption. And David Weiss is trying to cover it up and give Hunter Biden a backdoor pardon so he can't be charged with anything. This is clearly a scandal. And I'm glad that the Delaware judge up there, Judge Nareka, raised some questions and blew this up.
It sounds like a sweeping possible criminal enterprise there with the Biden family members. Let's hopefully they look into that. Always great to see you, Mike Davis, founder and president of the Article 3 Project. We'll see you back here soon, Mike.
Thank you.